Salute, General, Iro, Musa, Etiquette. I'm affectionately referred to as General Etiquette, and thinking. I've been thinking about boundaries, setting boundaries, right? But more specifically, how do you set boundaries with loved ones, right? How do you establish and maintain healthy boundaries with loved ones, right? How important it is, the necessity, right? And the results, right? So let's get into it, right? Setting healthy boundaries is necessary. It's uberly important for both self-love and your mental health, right? Your mental health. The reason that I say that is because when you allow people to over leverage you or you don't properly advocate for yourself, you end up building levels of resentment, right? You feel like you're betraying yourself. It's a form of self-betrayal, right? You aren't speaking up for yourself, right? You feel as though you're being taken advantage of, right? And that starts to wear on your mental, right? It starts to wear on your psyche, and ultimately it's going to start to affect the relationship in a very, very negative way, right? And then, right, what can it also cause? Stress, anxiety, right? And whilst we understand your physical fitness is linked to your mental fitness. So if you're dealing with forms of stress, anxiety, right, that could be linked to gaining weight, to losing weight, right? Irregularities in appetite, right? Irregularities in weight gain, weight loss, like I just alluded to, right? So the stress and the anxiety and the plethora of things that can come as a result of not protecting your own mental health can be catastrophic, right? So setting boundaries is a necessity for your mental health, right? Self-love. So passively allowing others to over leverage you is you proactively sabotaging yourself. It's the opposite of self-love, right? That's just something I coined real quick. And the reason why I say that is it's the opposite of self-love, right? If you aren't advocating for yourself, if you aren't speaking up for yourself, what you're actually doing is sabotaging yourself. Like I said, it's a form of self-betrayal, right? You could either be at war with the world and at peace with yourself, or at peace with yourself and at war with the world, right? No one wants to be combative, right? This is why we're trying to unpack healthy ways, right, to start to establish and maintain these boundaries in our lives, right? Responsibility. Like I started to allude to already, you have a responsibility. Similarly to, there's no difference from your physical fitness, right? You have to actively and proactively work at that. Work to establish and maintain and to grow with those gains. Your mental health is something that needs your protection. It has to be coveted. It has to be worked like a muscle. And that has to be relentless and consistent. You have a responsibility to do that, right? But the most important thing about establishing healthy relationships with loved ones, right, is the difficulty. The difficulty, it is one of the most difficult things that you can do for a number of reasons, right? It's the same reason why when you're around a group of people and someone makes a joke that's a little bit inappropriate about another group of people, right? That feeling of whether you should interject and say something or not, right? This is an experience that a lot of people have had, right? That level of comfortability with setting and establishing acceptable boundaries is something that everyone has had to traverse, right? And that's just one example. But how do you set and establish boundaries for you personally in your life? Like I said, it's gonna be difficult for a number of reasons. One, because of what people are used to, right? People get used to behaviors. We are creatures of habit, right? So a lot of the times, the indiscretions that people cause against you may be because of a lapse of judgment or a lapse of thinking, right? They might be absent-minded about something. It may not be a proactive attempt to over-leverage you, but it offends nonetheless. And if you don't say anything, right, the behavior is never going to change, right? Any object in motion will remain in motion until met by an opposing force, right? You have to step up and establish and maintain those boundaries, right? So while you go about your day, while you tackle, while you're putting in pain, while you're doing what you have to do, I really wanted everybody to stop for a second and think about, right, this sort of elusive topic of setting and establishing healthy boundaries. It's a conversation that's ongoing. I would love for you guys to hop up in the comments. Let me know what you think about the topic. Let me know about experiences that you have had trying to set and establish boundaries in the relationships with your loved ones, whether that be your parents, your friends, your siblings, so forth and so forth. Let me know what you think. Let me know some topics that you may want to hear about. But most importantly, y'all, stay safe. Keep sharpening your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, man. Get better every single day. This is about relentless growth. We're building community through thought-provoking discourse. That's what this channel is all about. You already know, whatever you put out there, you get 10 times over. So bless somebody today. Show somebody love. If you see me, say what's up, but you probably won't because of the Rona, so I prefer you salute. General, Iro, Musa, etiquette.